Welcome to the Wilderness Podcast. We're on episode 50, and this is the show where we just can't figure out the right day to record consistently. But here we are on a Sunday, and I am your host, Dills, and with me as always, Deegan.
Hey, how's it going?
Fuck, I got a little tongue-tied there. But anyways, here we are. How's your week? What's new?
I guess my birthday was yesterday. It was on Saturday.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that was one of the reasons why we were kind of delayed. I also had a bunch of schoolwork I was trying to catch up on and got that out of the way because this next week I guess these next couple weeks, I still have work, but definitely not as much as the first 2 weeks. It gets pretty bad and then it slows down and then it picks up.
Oh, I feel ya. So your first week back to school, how was that?
Oh, it was okay.
On par for the course?
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not really in school mode. It's super weird. There's times where like yesterday, I was up to 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was just playing games with my friends and shit. And then I realized man, I can't do this because I have to get up at 6 on Monday.
Yeah,
and so now it's after we're done recording, I'm gonna just settle down and try and go to bed.
Yeah, being responsible fucking sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, for me, one of my favorite things, and I miss it, is it's just staying up all night till 4 or 5 in the morning playing games, and usually it was RuneScape when I was doing it. You get caught up doing one more clue scroll or one more thing, and next thing you know, it's 5 in the morning, but yeah, it'll be 11 o'clock, midnight rolling around. I'm just I'm getting a little tired. This is the point where I decide to stay up and kind of get my second wind, and then I'm up for a couple hours, or, be responsible. I go to bed, wake up for 8 in the morning. Sometimes I have to drive my girlfriend to work for 6, so 6 in the morning the next day. So, yeah, I've been kind of, sometimes I'll do a little early morning grinding, which has a different feel to it, but it's not the worst.
Yeah. Got some sand in your eyes, you're kind of groggy, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's alright. It's different though, but
yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. Yeah, my main issue is that there's an ongoing joke between my buddies that I play games with, that when someone is about to go to bed or something, we'll be hold on, wait, and we'll ask them a question and then rope them into a conversation, and then they forget they have to go to bed. And my a common joke, I guess an ongoing joke we have is I'll go, hold on, wait, just chill for a second, chill, hold on, just chill, and then I'll ask them something, and then it's oh, you dick.
Yeah.
And they do it to me, I do it to them, but it's bad because there's times where it's say it's Wednesday or Thursday or Sunday or something, and we all have to get up at 6 in the morning, and it's 2 in the morning, and we're oh, for fuck. We're
yeah.
we're all screwed, and then the next day it's just brutal. I'm drinking 30 coffees just getting through the day.
It's you accidentally get your second wind, and then it's drinking a coffee where fuck, well, I guess I can't sleep for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. I'm up till 3 a.m. now.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty irresponsible of us, but whatever. It's fun. It's good times. Can't do it forever, so you might as well do it now while we can.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But, that being said, so, yeah, yesterday was my birthday, and there's this, there's another ongoing joke between me and, my one friend specifically about, those, hentai games on Steam?
They're on Steam? Really I remember them being on Newgrounds.
Okay, so they have, these anime hentai games. What are they categorized? They're adult anime, nudity, sexual content. That's what the
Whoa,
tags
those are on
for
Steam?
Yeah, and so but Steam has implemented they have built-in censored. They do something where the games have to be censored and stuff.
Oh, so it's just kind of watching Japanese porn where it's pixelated and stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. And, well, I'm not 100% sure. I don't play them, but that's what I assume. And, we'll always joke about some random game. There was one that, I forget the name of it, but we'd always just joke about it. Oh man, cause I share Steam libraries with someone, with this guy. So
okay.
As a joke, I'll be dude, you should get this game. I heard it's really good. And then he's no, dude, anyways, it's just a stupid joke. And, anyways, so for my birthday, he bought me an anime hentai humble bundle.
Ooh.
So
wow, Humble Bundle's releasing that?
He bought me 16 hentai games on Steam.
Whoa. So you got no choice but to play some of those.
So, like, I literally have, like, 16 games sitting in my library, and, like, now, the joke is, like, now he can play them, right? That's kind of the joke, is that he buys them for me, so he can play them, but no one knows he plays them. But
you just look at it, and it'll be, like, 16 hours playtime on it.
But I don't know, I just thought it was pretty funny. I just, like, get a message on Steam, it's like a Humble Bundle thing, and I open it up, and it's like, oh, you've been gifted a Humble Bundle, and it's like 130. I have $130 worth of hentai on my Steam account now.
$130?
Yeah. Okay. So he didn't spend that much. The Humble Bundle, he said he spent like $8 on it or something. But if you buy it through Steam, like the same bundle, it's $135 Canadian, and that's it on sale. Like if I were to buy it yesterday for myself,
shit.
And it's just like a stupid thing where it's like, man, now if someone ever wants to know what games I have, they're just gonna see like, what are they called? They're like,
Are they well done?
Honey Pop, Negligee, Sakura Agent, Sakura Angel, Sakura Beach 1 and 2, Sakura Magical Girls, Sakura Shrine Girls. Like,
is that all one series? Is that like a Final Fantasy but for hentai?
I'm assuming it's that, or it's like the developer is Sakura. I have no idea. Like,
oh jeez. So are these games any good though? Like I don't know if you've actually played them, but is it just kind of like I've seen some of them?
So one of them,
or it's just like a choose your own adventure.
So most of these are like dating. From what I understand, they're like a lot of these are dating sims that he got me. Like there's one where you're on like a spaceship and it's like relationships. So you're like there's endings and you're like trying to bang girl, and it's weird.
But can you actually move around, or is it just like chat menus?
I think it's like chat, like a point and click type thing. I think. I'm assuming.
So they have not evolved. I mean, it's not like I've played them or anything.
One of them he got me is literally hentai bejeweled.
Okay.
It's like, it's bejeweled, but there's hentai in it. It's super weird.
Is it like hentai's in the background and you're clearing for a picture? Or is it like, instead of gems, it's like different hentai
So
characters?
I'm looking at the main picture now, like the like on their store, and it's like bejeweled, but then there's like an anime girl next to it in like bikini and stuff, or like in her panties.
Oh, so it's just bejeweled with like a picture on the side for you to kind of glance. Oh,
it's kind of funny because you can see who also owns these games.
Oh,
I have a close friend who owns a lot of these games and has like 5-6 hours in them.
Hey, we're not judging.
Well, I am.
Never makes you happier. Whoa.
No, I'm not. I just thought I thought it was really funny, and now he knows that I have them. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had a friend who would print off hentai pictures, but this is like a long time ago. He didn't have his own computer, and like neither did I, but he would go to the public library to print them off. And I remember he'd have like a booklet full of them, and then one day he just like got banned from the library. Like we're like really young, like grade 5 or 6 or some shit.
If it's the same person you're talking of, I literally discovered hentai through him because he was over at our place. He was over at our place, and I was at another friend's house, and this was like, I was in grade 7, or 7th grade, sorry. It's like a Canadian thing saying grade 7, apparently. But I was in 7th grade.
Okay.
And I come home at the end of the weekend, and I go on my computer, and then, like, I opened up my start menu, and I saw, like, an image, and I clicked it, and it was Kim Possible porn.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then I remember asking him, like, months later, and he laughed. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. And he just, like,
good times.
Saved a bunch of hentai. I'm like, and I was like, oh, so people like cartoons. Okay. I learned something today.
Your innocence got sucked away that day.
Yeah. But, other than that, I started playing Dota 2, actually.
So the hentai games gave you that Dota 2 itch.
Yeah, it gave me that itch.
Sounds about right.
So, I don't know. I really like learning games, getting better at games and whatnot. Like, from pretty much all of high school, from like 2008-ish when I got into the League of Legends beta, to like, I think it was 2008. Up until like 2012, I was like really into League.
Right,
and,
okay.
And I just liked it because like you could learn. I was never that good. Like the best I got was like Plat 5 or something. For somebody who's been playing the game for like 5 years, it's not that good. I'm not that good at MOBAs, but it's fun to like.
That's pretty good. Way better than I ever got. I couldn't get out of fucking silver. God damn.
I mean, when I play like those types of games, I play them to get better. Like I really like to like dive into all the information and the numbers and just like learn just about how the game works.
Yeah,
and
theory crafting.
Yeah, and I remember trying Dota when it was just a Warcraft 3 mod, and it was like it was super difficult. I just didn't like it. And then a little while ago they came out with Dota 7.0, and they changed a lot of the game. They added like healing shrines. I don't know, because the whole thing with Dota is you can't base, right? Well, you can, but it's different.
Let me cut in real quickly. When you say Dota 7.0, are you still talking about Dota 2 or Dota 1?
Dota 2 7.
Okay.
Like update 7.0. I should specify that. They like changed the way the game works, and they added like a bunch of cool different things. They changed it around, and I was super bored like earlier this week, and I was like, you know what? And I was also talking to this Tinder chick like a couple weeks ago who's like obsessed with Dota to the point where like she would only talk about it, and it was really annoying. So I kind of stopped talking to her, but I was like, fuck, I kind of want to play Dota now. And then I played it. I like was kind of like, oh, it's kind of what I always remembered it as, just like a really slow pace, kind of annoying version of League. And then I like started looking into it and like just started learning all these different little things and actually learning how like the roles work. I was just kind of comparing it too much to other MOBAs.
Sure. Okay.
And then something just clicked, and I'm like, I'm loving the game right now. So that being said, I haven't really played RuneScape this week.
Traitor.
That's my segue.
You traitor.
But my excuse is I'm just waiting for my buddies to get ready for raiding, and my one friend has like thieving and farming, and he's getting like thieving up like as we speak, and his farming is pretty much there.
Cool.
So this week I should be able to maybe successfully do my first raid. I don't know.
That wouldn't be bad. That might be a whole different a different way to look at RuneScape, I guess, because before raids you didn't really have anything like it. Sure, you had bosses like Corp and stuff where it's like, you want to be in a team to fight it, but like this is the first time where it's like you kind of require teamwork. It's not just having more people to output damage.
Yeah.
You get what
it's like the teamwork aspect where people need to do mechanics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With like soloing, you can solo raids, but I'm not good enough. And I can't kill Vespula. I tried Tecton once or twice. And Vasa Nistro or whatever. I can kill him, but like it's really like it's a struggle, right?
If I'm not mistaken, too, like I could be wrong in this one, but for solo raids, it's a lot of like leaving and coming back to get the right rooms.
Yeah, I think that's just raids in general, like scouting. I have a program I downloaded. Somebody in our Discord/CC told me about We Do Raids, the Discord and the subreddit.
Okay, yep.
And so somebody made a program where you type in like these are the first bosses you encounter, and then it tells you like the first two, and then it tells you like the next like bosses you get. And so if you can skip Vespula and Tecton, like you pretty much should.
Okay, interesting.
And because they're hard and they're a bitch and they take a while.
Fair enough.
And like I don't know. I try to communicate to do like we do raids where they like bring in a bunch of noobs and people mentor them, but I just can't. I'm not able to play when they're doing them on Saturdays and stuff.
Yeah, you got to set aside some time, I suppose.
Yeah, like, and it doesn't really help that I've kind of run out. Like, my only goal right now in RuneScape is to make a bunch of money through raids, and then once I have like a bunch of money, max my mage, prayer, and then just start PKing. Like, that's like literally like just learn how to like no honor tribe root or something. Like, that's
hell yeah.
I don't really have goals set. Like, I don't have like levels or anything. I don't have like a total level goal set. Like, I kind of just want to make a bunch of money so I can max quickly.
Well, I feel like you're like, when your account gets to a point, you stop like, okay, I want to hit these 99s. You kind of like, I want to do this in the game because I'm finally a high enough level to like, maybe just barely do it, I guess. Or like let's say PKing, like you kind of want a good maxed out account, so then suddenly you can go out deep wilderness and you don't got to worry about anything. Like, that's my problem. I'm like level 110, and sure, my account's pretty good for PKing for the level. I got 99 strength and like 87 attack and 70 defense, 70 prayer. So it's decent. 94 magic. But the problem is, if I'm going out deep PKing by myself, if I run into like
a 126
max
or something?
Yeah, 126, I'm at a disadvantage. Sure, I can still win. I can hit as high as he can, but the chances are he's going to pummel me.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what I was thinking too. And like, yeah, when you get to a certain point where like I don't have any quest goals because I have all the quests done. The only thing, it's like, okay, make enough money for Rigor and Augury, and then get the prayer levels for them, and then like, and then, maybe 96 range and 94 mage, and then like, I'm pretty much done. Like, that's just like the laziest way to say, yeah, I'm done, but.
Done playing, max my account out.
Yeah, and like, so I don't really need to do any, like, other things. Like, maybe I could do my diaries. There's a couple I could do I haven't done any wilderness diaries. I can do easy, medium, and hards. Maybe I could just do that. Like there are a bunch of little things I can do, but it's kind of like, for what,
Yeah, exactly. For me, especially for diaries, I like leave those until, I need that reward.
Yeah.
And then I'll go blast it out. So similar to like, I really wanted that Crystal Halberd one day, so I was like, you know what, time to blast out the what is it? Western Province Diaries?
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And yeah, so that's the way I think of it too. So
yeah, exactly. But I think that's enough of my rambling. What about you?
For me, so I've been mentioning that I'm selling my house, so I'm having to deal with real estate agents like every fucking day. I'll jump on and play RuneScape for like 15 minutes, and then I get a knock on the door for a showing, and I got to get out of the house, take my dog out in the backyard, and we just sit there and kind of wait for them to finish.
Yep.
But it gets a little frustrating. It really breaks up my grinding. I'll jump on, and then I have to jump off, and what can you do?
Yeah. It's hard to get like a good hour or get the rhythm going.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of frustrating, but you do what you can, and hopefully we're going to be selling the house next week. I'm hoping we'll have to see if anyone offers in, and then I can finally buy bonds and max my account out, baby.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Some of the things that I actually did do, I haven't really been playing anything else but RuneScape. I was playing Fallout 4. I was kind of going hard on that, but it's been like almost a month since I've touched it. At least that's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, whenever I have a chance to game, I'm just jumping on RuneScape.
Yeah.
So, okay, whatever. We're making some good progress for the most part.
Yep.
Yeah, this was just random, but I was just randomly just playing, and there was someone in our clan chat as well, and they were saying, why don't you get a name change? Because my in-game name was Butternuts.
Yep.
And I just decided to go by Dills because, Butternuts doesn't have as good of a ring for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's a shame. So I decided to just try to get the name Dills, and I was surprised. I got it. It was so simple.
Oh, really?
DILZ, just like that.
Nice.
So yeah, now we got Dills. But the only problem is I have like 5 accounts, all with the name Butter something. I called it the Butter Family. And every now and then I would just log on all the accounts and just fuck around with them.
Yep.
So now I just got randomly, let me see what I got. Butter Tub, Buttered Melt, Buttery Mess, and then I had Butternuts, and that one's gone, so.
Yeah.
But hey, now I got Dills, so now it's simple. If you guys want to add me up or whatever it is, there it is.
Man, you got that OG 4-letter name?
Oh, dude, I look like a maxed account.
It's pretty dope, dude. It's nice.
Pretty sweet. Can't wait till I
remember a while ago, when I first started playing RuneScape again, this was before Oldschool, and EOC had come out, and I was like, you know what? I kind of just feel like jumping on RS. Like, I don't care about EOC. Legacy had just come out, and a while before that, I had changed my name to Blastoids because I was really into Pokemon, and I was like, I love Pokemon, but like I was really into Pokemon, especially at that time, and I was just like, my name before that was really, really stupid. So, I ended up getting Blastoid, and I was like, oh man, that's pretty legit. And I had that for a long time, and then And then I just kind of like wanted Deegan. So I just
That's a pretty sweet name, though. Like, I've always been a little bit jealous that you had that name because it's such a. You look at it, you're like, wow, that's. Again, it's like it seems like an end game name, if you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, instead
it's
of
not like Deegan 13 or anything like that.
Yeah, super cool 4432. Like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Quickly, that's funny that you mentioned it. I remember when I had quit RuneScape for a couple years now. I gave away my main account, and yeah, remember you jumped on. You're like, hey, they changed the combat up, and it's different, but I don't hate it. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? And you were playing it for a bit, and then eventually you're like, okay, no, this is actually fucked. And then I remember you just quit again.
Yeah.
But I remember you got pretty hard into the EOC. Yeah,
there was a little bit where like, because I just wanted to play I gotta play an MMO. And I was like, I'm not the biggest, I like WoW, but as you guys can tell, there's multiple stints where I play it for like 3-4 months and I raid hard and then I stop because there's no content. Like, I always play RuneScape because I never feel like I'm out of content. There's always shit I can do.
Yeah, and exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and especially when I was younger, like, I'd be at my grandparents' or something and be like, I come on, play RuneScape, and then that would just get me hooked. And, yeah, I remember playing EOC for a bit. I just found it, like, this is kind of interesting that I can, like, heal after I kill something, and then I have a vampiric aura. I can lifesteal for certain hours of the day, or for a certain time period every day. So I don't really need to bring food anywhere. I can AFK train super easily, which I would do that, like, hard.
It's just like what you said earlier. You like to learn new games almost. And RuneScape, at that point, it was basically a brand new game, just skinned over or whatever.
Yeah, like, me knowing just myself, I guarantee you, if there was something to bring me back on just to jump onto RS3 for like 3 hours, if it's like someone put a bullet to like a gun to my head, or something cool came out I want to try out, like any reason, I would probably come back with like, I'm gonna play for a little bit because I just want to figure out like what's up with the mechanics, what can I do with this and that, and just, gives me something to learn, I guess.
One thing that I remember coming back to RuneScape 3, because I remember when you started playing the EOC, I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it as well. And I could not get into the combat, but this is odd. Like, I still couldn't figure out why I never got used to this. I could not stand how the health changed. And you had like, suddenly you had like almost 1,000 health instead of 99.
Yeah.
And the numbers were all different. I was like, I cannot get used to hitting 300s and 200s and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know they did that. It makes everything more accurate, right?
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense why they had to at some point.
Yeah, so instead of hitting like a 3 point whatever in old school, and it just rounds it down, like,
I could never get used to that.
Yeah, it was definitely super weird, and it's something I was never really the biggest fan of. But
But I remember when I came back, I decided, I'm just going to stick to skilling for now, because you don't have to deal with that fucking combat system or the health change. And I remember joining this like skilling clan, and one thing that I thought was awesome was they had guilds where you could go and then you would get teleported to like an instance area similar to like your player-owned house, and you'd have this like small little area, and then as you woodcut and stuff like that, all the resources would collect up, and then you could build your guild and make it even like a better guild area. I always thought that was pretty cool.
That was one thing, like, I really, really like of RuneScape 3, and it might be because of back in the day, Guild Wars 1.
Fuck yeah.
The guild halls, which were, like, the coolest things ever, and Guild v Guild and shit like that. Like, I really liked RS3 for that, because it was, like, you get, like, a group of friends or something to get a guild, and if you guys are playing all the time, you could have, like, a really sweet area where, like, in RS3 at least, you could actually go there and mine and woodcut X amount of resources a day.
Yeah.
And it was beneficial to you and to everyone to like go in and actually utilize the spots. And
yep. And then after a while, you could build different buildings on the landscape and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But anyways, let's get off the topic of RS3 before everyone starts tuning out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, besides that, I've just basically been grinding Slayer for the most part. I finally hit 87 Slayer.
Nice.
I'm excited to try out some of the Kraken tasks.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I have not got one yet. And yeah, I'm at like, I think 87 attack. So that's leveling up pretty quickly as well.
Nice. You'll get your first Kraken task. It'll be fun. But the only thing is, playing at prime time, it's really annoying. Okay, thankfully for me, people they'll go to quote unquote crash me, but they see me in like pretty good gear and a high level and they just walk out. But people do crash hard at Kraken, like really hard. Like it's like you gotta get used to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shame, but I'm just hearing you talk about all the profit you're walking away with, and I'm just like, I want to try some of that.
Yeah, there's time, but that being said, I do have my inventory set up really weird so I can last. Like, I think I told you my record was like 70 or something kills in a trip, which I was pretty happy with. So like, that's why I'll walk out with like a mil inventory per trip, but it's still really nice. Yeah. And you have a chance to get a pet and you get some decent money.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully eventually I get one of those, but haven't so far. And yeah, like I just find myself, I jump on, I'm like, okay, let's go do some more Slayer, and I'm sure that's going to patter out eventually, and I'm just going to be back to farming, because I keep thinking, like, fuck, I really need to level up my farming so I could build, the spirit tree in my house and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though, if you just keep doing Slayer, and you get, like, 90 attack, and then you get 90 defense or whatever, and you just focus on getting your stats up, like, once you unlock Cerberus and Thermonuclear Smoke Devil, like, once I unlocked Cerberus, like I've said this before, I don't really like Slayer, but once I unlocked like the Cerberus, I started to like it a lot, because that's a boss that like, it was like the first 100 kills was really like I struggled, I would die quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just because like the flick, you have to pray flick at certain points and the timing's really weird and you really gotta pay attention, and now I kind of have it on I can just kind of close my eyes, it feels like, but like, it's still, like, I find that boss is really fun, and plus, you walk out with Primordials, like, that's the best feeling when I finally got my Primordial Crystal. And, like, I don't know, just doing those bosses are really nice, like, killing the Slayer bosses are, like, some of my favorites.
They're pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited to, like, try out that Abyssal Sire, because that thing looks badass, and like I said, I always forget that thing is there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, you get the magic level to do it. You can smoke barrage or whatever you have to do to hit it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to try her out. But I think that's it. I think we can move on to the news, because we got some fair amount to cover and a lot of random things as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Deegan, take it away.
Yeah, it is time for some Fossil Island changes.
Ooh, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, who would have thunk? So, yeah, they made like a bunch of changes and they fixed some grammatical issues and whatnot. But so I'll start off with the Sulisette mushrooms, the thing we bitched about the most, I think, because of fucking tar monsters, goddamn. But yeah, so the amount of the experience you get per Sulisette mushroom like chop or successful cut, I guess, has been increased to 90.8.
Right on.
The amount of fossils gained from Sulisette mushrooms has been buffed, and the amount of Sulisette caps gained from the Sulisette mushrooms has been buffed.
Cool, nice.
Yeah, so buffs all along the board. Pretty necessary, depending on how... It's probably the most dangerous thing on Fossil Island.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. And yeah, that's something that I'm sure we all could see was coming.
Mm-hmm. So, with the Volcanic Mine... The shop prices have been reduced by 30%.
All right.
And so I have yet to do the Volcanic Mine, but I think what they imply by this is that with the currency, I guess, you get within there, you would buy ores and stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, there's a... Well, let me see.
So when you're mining through the Volcanic Mine, you would get, like... I'm going to call them... I have no idea what they are, but I'm just going to say gem shards. Let's just say that.
Or like fragments.
Or fragments, okay. I was kind of close, but yeah, with the ore fragments, and then you use those to buy whatever ore you want, and yeah. So they reduced the prices of those, and the amount of experience gained from the Volcanic Mine has been upped by 40%, because apparently the experience per hour was super shit. I forget what the number was, but my buddy was going to stop Motherlode mining to do volcanic to gear up for it, and it was like not worth it. It was totally not worth it. And I think a lot of people saw that, like, why would I spend hours unlocking it for shit experience?
Yeah, fair enough.
And also the meteorites that would hurt you they could do a lot more damage. They nerfed that. It was 15 to 30 damage you could take, and they nerfed it down to 15 to 20.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
like I said, I haven't been in there, but I'm pretty sure the mining Todd, but the volcanic mine is a lot different to Winter Todd. Winter Todd, you take the frost damage. It's a percentage of your max health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which a lot of people don't like because you need like 400 cakes with 10 HP to get 99 fire making. And that costs like nothing, right?
That's at a low level.
Yeah, that's with 10 HP, it's cakes, right? Like, yeah, whatever.
But when you see a lot where it's like an Iron Man or a hardcore Iron Man being like, how should I start the game off? And I always see people being like, rush Winter Todd right away before you do anything else. Get your fire making to 99, and it'll basically set you to do a bunch of other shit in the game.
Get the fire, was it 55 fire making for Winter Todd? Go to Karand and steal the cakes there because there's no guards.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's in the Shazian. I think it's Shazian. I forget exactly where the stall is, but you go there because there's no guards. And then you get like 400 cakes or something. And then from like 55 to 99, like you're set and you get a lot of good starting stuff. But if you have 99 health, you have to bring, if you're trying to be efficient, you bring Cerebrews. And like the thing is, like one slice of cake heals the more than enough for Winter Todd, but like a brew doesn't. Like it's super shitty, and you waste so much money if you're trying to be like as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
Getting 99 fire making, where it's like you might as well just light your money on fire with logs. So I'm saying that because with Volcanic Mine, I'm pretty sure it's flat damage.
Yeah.
So it's 15 to 30. Well, it was 15 to 30. Now it's 15 to 20. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference.
So you could just bring like, brews or sharks or something, and like you'd be pretty consistent with your trips. But yeah, meteorites are also less likely to fall in the volcanic mine depending on the mine stability.
Okay.
So like that's really cool too. Depending on how the round's going will be how much damage you take. And if multiple boulders exist in the volcanic mine, you can only mine one like to a certain point before you can move to another one.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I don't know what the change is because I don't really know 100% about volcanic mine if I'm honest, but I'm assuming it's just to make the games more consistent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The points have been given a little more generously to those who maintain mine stability.
Right.
So, yeah,
okay.
the better you're doing the mini game, the more points you get.
And for anyone listening who's kind of scratching their head right now going, oh, what the fuck are you guys talking about? We're going to go over the whole volcanic mine because now that there's been like, I've been actually able to see how it goes down and stuff. We're going to go explain all that after we go through the updates.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Volcanic Mine. And then general Fossil Island changes. They did the change with the giant seaweed, so you get the 6 soda ash when burnt. And it works appropriately with the super glass make, with the lunar spell.
Okay.
Nummulites can be charged with the ancient wyvern shield. They added a new shortcut that you need 70 agility.
Nummulites can be used to charge the ancient wyvern shield.
Yeah, now they can. So there's another use for them.
Alright.
Yeah. They added a new shortcut with 70 agility. That's the requirement. And it's from the fossil camp to the hardwood tree patches, which is super nice because to get there, big run around.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think it's very appropriate because if you're doing farming runs and you have hardwood tree implemented in your runs, you should have 70 agility at this point, and it's a nice little shortcut. They fixed some typos and all that stuff. They added a dog, Trey the dog, and he's in the fossil camp.
Okay.
Yeah. They changed some things to the Varrock Museum displays. They had like placeholder examine text, like a lot of like weird little things that they've changed. They relocated the birdhouse to be inside of Verdant Valley just to help getting to it, when you use the trees to teleport around.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of little random things. Like the rare fossilized tusk can be stored within the fossil storage crate. Like a lot of like random little things that they're kind of changing.
Little bugs, I suppose, or things I forgot.
They added more tracking patterns and paths for the herbivores.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's pretty much it. There's just like a lot of like little random things, but
some oversights, I suppose.
Yeah. With the quest journal, it'll tell you what's left to be built in the fossil camp, so you can kind of.
Oh yeah, cool. Before it would just tell you what you built, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're gonna like change within the task only wyvern cave. There's like the mini map just would show a black space.
Okay.
Kind of weird. So they're gonna be fixing it, all that good stuff. And other changes, the champion scrolls have now they have unique names.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
That's sure.
Pretty nice.
Why not? I guess.
It makes it a lot easier to, I got this scroll. What is it? Okay, and now let me like go on Wiki and look it up. Like it makes it way more like convenient to like get information on it and stuff, and it makes them, more special, I guess.
Fair enough.
And they capitalized Orlando Smith's surname in the Varrock Diary, and the geomancy now correctly displays ultra compost and compost bins.
Cool. Okay, cool.
So that's it for the updates and the Fossil Island changes.
All right, so now my turn. I'm going to talk about some more updates on the Oldschool RuneScape mobile client. So this one, they're not really saying a whole lot. They're just kind of explaining the way they're working through some of the issues, some of the things they have to think about when they're doing this, because they're having a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of issues, but they're having to really focus on how to do the interface for when you play. So we talked about before how they were going to bring the chat, instead of being on the bottom, they're going to put it at the top, so that when you start typing, it's going to bring up your keyboard, right? That's going to come up from the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
So it just go over where they're talking about how you're going to be able to minimize the actual chat, so that when you're not talking, you don't necessarily have to have this, square kind of in your way if you don't want it to. Or let's say you want to click where the chat is, and next thing you know, the keyboard's popping up, right?
Yeah.
So you talk about having these a little button basically to minimize or open up the menu. Yeah, there's basically, 4 main things that that they know that are important for the interface. This is the mini map and the compass, a world map button, your chat and chat filter buttons, as well as all the tabs as well. Talking about the tabs, they're thinking, instead of having it the way it is now, they want to split it up. They're thinking about just splitting up like half and half, because since most people are right-handed, why not have the most commonly used tabs, or the more important ones? These would be like your attack style, the tab for your stats, your quests, and your inventory being on the right-hand side, kind of going up the screen. And it would kind of go up to where the mini-map is. While, your logout button, the options, your friends lists, your magic, prayer, and equipment inventory would all be on the left-hand side. So this gives you like kind of easy access. You got both your thumbs, because that's what we're going to be playing with, 2 thumbs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. They talk about kind of the reasons why they have to do that. Like they talk about the friends list, how instead of having your ignore list, your friends list, and your clan chat all one tab, basically combining it all into its own tab. Because it also makes it makes more sense for when new players pick up the phone and start playing for the first time, instead of having, 3 kind of social tabs. I guess we can call it that. You'll have one which can focus. It's going to work similarly to the quest tab, where you can click it and then you can go through your mini games, you can go through your achievements, and then you can go through what's it called? Your favor on Zaya. All right. And that's basically what they're kind of telling us there. So just keeping us updated and the things they have to think about. Next, we're going to talk about RuneFest coming up. So RuneFest is going to be coming up on Saturday and Sunday. Oh, sorry. RuneFest is going to be starting on Saturday, the 23rd of September. So that's going to be coming right up, actually. That's next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's exciting, and a number of things they're going to be talking about for RuneFest. They got the Golden Gnome Awards, which is, kind of some awards they give out for a bunch of different categories. Some of these are a video of the year. And the nominees for the video of the year is Guns Chili for this video, if only this was last year, and Depth for a Pet Old School RuneScape. Wooks for Efficient Raid Solo Guide. Luda for his Wooks' Revenge video. Sadin with 4,000% Talos kills. Sadin.
I could not tell you.
Sadin for 4,000% Telos kills. And Sir Pugger for his video pretending to be a girl in RuneScape. So as you can tell, that seems like it's literally any RuneScape related video whatsoever. RuneScape 3, old school RuneScape, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Next category is Best New Video Maker, and our 3 nominees are C Engineer, Makeru RS, and Tanzu RS. And next category is Best Video Maker in RuneScape. So not New Video Maker, this is just Best Overall Video Maker, which is Fat Nooblet, I'm sick of it. Oh, I'm sick of it. That's good. Real Scapers, and Moto. And then you got Best Video Maker for Old School RuneScape, Guns Chili, Torvesta, and Third Age Film. All right, so those are video awards, and then we also got some streamer awards. So our first category is Best Newcomer, and the 4 nominees are Ron Plays Games, Manked, Zach Badass, and Nova C RS. So our best streamers in the RuneScape category is Hi, I'm Lucas, RuneScape Omid, Cairo, Thursguy, and Sadin. And lastly, for the streamer category is Best Streamer Old School RuneScape. So you got Faux Freedom, Sick Nerd, MMORPG RS, and Mr. Mammal. And lastly, it's the Art Awards. So Best Artistic Creation is Maximus Gugu for his RuneScape pop-up book, Angel's Scape for Spirit Shield pins, Dagnay for Chromedis, and Sabok for Seismic Wand.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cool. And then lastly, Best Artist is Maxima Gugu, Angelscape, Dagnay, Glaysite, Magnixie, Volcaban RS. I'm pretty sure I butchered like almost every one of those names, but hopefully
there's a common theme with RuneScape and names, and it's just let's just make a difficult name to pronounce.
Slam our head on the keyboard and see what pops up.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get our cat to just make our name.
And those winners will be announced alongside. They're going to have a cosplay and community category, which is most creative cosplay and best cosplay. So if you want to see the winners for that, make sure you tune in if you're not attending in person. They have, more content than ever to showcase for old school RuneScape. So obviously RuneFest is already sold out. And they're saying this could possibly be the biggest turnout for content creators, community figures, and old school players attending the event. All very cool. During the RuneFest convention, if you want to check it out, but you're not able to go see it, you can obviously see it at twitch.tv/RuneScape. And as well, naturally coming along with it is our Dead Man mode. And this year we're seeing, something fresh we talked about before is the Dead Man Mansions as well. Where, we talked about it before, putting up 10 different streamers into a house, 2 different houses, right?
Yep.
For a week so that they can all stream together kind of, and they're going to have their own little competitions and stuff like that. So that's all been pretty fun. And so far, the only thing I've seen for Dead Man Mansions, because this is, it just kind of started. I saw a lot of people getting ready to leave and stuff like that, but is they're having a lot of network connectivity issues.
Do you think they're getting DDoSed, or...
I just think it was an oversight, and they just don't have good enough internet, because I was watching Bodhi streaming, and there was a lot of lagging on RuneScape itself, and through his video... video camera. So that was happening, but I'm sure that will be fixed in no time, because this was all going on when I think it was just 2 streamers were in the house.
Are you serious? Whoever
Yeah.
whoever's Jagex's main network guy, like, needs to not suck. I don't know how else to say it.
You think that would be prioritized? They'd have some fucking
they'd be
crazy
like, all right,
server
well, let's just do
within the
math,
house.
all right, so there's gonna be 10 people streaming at a time. Okay, and how much does each person require to have a good stream? How much like upload speed do they need? Okay, now what if somebody's downloading some shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they gotta figure this out beforehand. But you know, they'll probably fix it quickly. They'll probably just like overcompensate and just get really, really good internet. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure it's something easily something you can easily undershoot on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, but so that being said, let's hop into some of the Deadman mode changes. So every season so far, they're doing some pretty big changes when it comes to Deadman mode, and you know this one is no different. So yeah, a little bit of changes to the experience rates that you get. So right now, outside of safe zones, you will be getting 15 times experience in combat and 10 times experience in other skills. While you're in safe zones, you'll be getting 10 times in combat and 5 times in other skills. So, yeah, cool. Last season, they had it so you could only cap at 1 million experience per day. They are taking this down to 500,000 experience per day or 750,000 per day in attack and strength. But hit points is not included in this cap.
So does hit points not have a cap then?
That's
what does that mean?
That's what it reads.
So I guess hit points doesn't have a cap. That would make sense though.
Yeah, I guess so that if you, for some reason, you want to just spend, all day training after you hit your cap, you could level up your health because that is pretty. It's kind of a minimal advantage, I guess, when it comes to the combat stats. Mm-hmm. It is really good to have. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sure it's not that good if you're not able to have the attack, defense, strength, all the other combat stats to help you with it. So. Yeah, I guess they notice a problem with the player-owned house pools, so the little fountain that you could use to basically restore everything.
Yep.
I suppose players were using, they'd find one person in their clan, get that up, and they'd all use the same one to, bring back their special attack and all that stuff. But now you're not going to be able to use it when you've been in combat in the last 3 minutes.
Yes, that's good, because imagine if you're... I don't know, like a place you could teleport into multi-combat. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yep.
But just imagine you teleport somewhere in multi-combat, get caught by a clan, you get like ice barraged or something, and then they would just non-stop spec you. They would just spec you, teleport out, spec you, and like... So yeah, that's a really nice change. I like that.
Fair enough. Sorry, let me say it again. And for the questing, they're just, I guess it's very small changes. I guess they like the way they've been doing it, so they're going to be... So, this time they're going to be only allowing certain quests to be complete. I think last season, you completed every single quest after the first week. Was that right? Yeah,
you wouldn't get the rewards, but they'd be completed.
So, okay, this time around, there's only going to be a certain amount of quests that get completed after the first week. Okay. But that being said, this will allow dedicated players to earn their escapes that come from completing quests. Okay, so there's certain quests that, you'll get, like... allow accesses to places you can kind of get away from, like to hide and not get killed. So if you want to take advantage of those, you'll actually have to do the quest. But there's probably a bunch of quests you'll be able to unlock for free. Mm-hmm. As for Desert Treasure, after 2 weeks, it'll automatically be completed. Although you can do Desert Treasure right from the get-go. The only difference is you will not get Ancient Magics until the 2 weeks happens.
Okay.
So this is just if you want to get the boost to, magic experience or whatever it is. You'll still have to wait the 2 weeks to get to use Ancient Magics. All right, and right now, I guess when you die, there's a couple places you kind of respawn in, but they're going to be giving all players the option to respawn at the Grand Exchange. This way you could buy back a bunch of the shit you lost. You know what I mean? You don't have to run all the way to the Grand Exchange and hopefully not get killed again, right?
Yeah.
So, and now they're doing a change to the Deadman banking and, They're going to be doing a change to your bank being raided when you die. So right now, when you die, you only are going to be losing 80% of your stacked items. But your stacked items have to be more than 5. So the examples they give is, if you have 86 shark and you die to another player, that player can take 68 sharks and they leave you 18 sharks. But let's say you had 4 Abbey whips in your bank and you get killed, you need to have at least 5 or more, so you'll lose all those whips. But let's say you have 5 whips or more and you get killed, you get to keep one of the whips and they take 4.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big one because I know I hated getting my bank cleaned out. Now, moving on to the Chinchompas. Right when you release them right now, they kind of run away and scatter. And basically, if somebody's going to kill you this happens in real RuneScape too, when you're out hunting chins, a lot of people release them just so they can fuck over the PKer.
Yep.
Because you
can't... not fuck over, but not reward them for being dickheads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you get killed and just nobody gets those chins. But for Deadman mode, they're going to spawn on the ground so that they can be looted.
All right.
They recognize that Ceradoman brews are kind of hard to come by in Deadman mode, so they're going to be adding Ceradoman brews to each of the Wilderness Boss drop tables.
Nice, I like that.
They don't specify how many, but they're still balancing it out. Yeah, I keep bouncing over to the other dev blog that you read earlier to see if they've said how many, but they don't say anything there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a small fix. I guess the Deadman icon was kind of covering up what level of wilderness you're in. They're going to be moving it so that you can see the level of wilderness you're in. They recognize that spamming the door to keep it remain closed is a common tactic. But it's also kind of annoying to deal with and frustrating. So they're going to be coming up with ways to mitigate it, prevent it from being so abused, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're going to be tinkering with the shop stocks as well, so that you don't have to worry about some guy buying out all the stock of an item real fast and kind of fucks you over. You know what I mean? Just because you weren't able to get there first.
Mm-hmm.
I know this becomes kind of a problem at the very beginning of Deadman mode each season, where everyone's rushing to the range shop, I guess, down in Varrock.
Yeah.
And they buy out all the arrows, and same with the runes and stuff. So now they're just going to regenerate it faster to allow, more players to get what they need.
Yeah.
And lastly, and I think this is a biggin. I should say. So firstly, when each Deadman mode tournament, the final area has been changing. And so this tournament, it's going to be Falador. All right?
Okay.
But before people, have to go to Falador, once they reach 200 players, they will be teleporting all those players to 4 different islands. Each island, I'm guessing, is going to have 50 people each.
Okay.
And you're basically going to be forced to fight it out until there's one person on each island left, and then will all be shooting over to Falador to face it off.
See, this is we kind of wanted this. We've talked about that before, like the concept of like dividing the players up, and then we mentioned it like a long time ago. One of the Deadman recap where we were like just spouting ideas.
Okay.
And like what we were saying was it gives solo players a chance, but it also kind of makes things more interesting, right?
Yeah. And they say it kind of here where they want it, the final 4, they want it to be kind of like 2 semi-final fights going on, and then the winners of that face off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. And they also even put a disclaimer. If people are avoiding combat and they're like refusing to fight, you will be instantly taken out of the game. Nice. So, yeah, there's no chill coming from Jagex this time around.
Yeah, which is good. I want to see. Yeah. I want to see some blood being spilt.
So I'm pretty excited to see this one. This one seems like, again, like we say it every time, every season they're tinkering a little bit more, and then I feel like they're one of these times they're finally going to get it. I don't know if it's going to be this time. It's still. I'm sure there's 1,000 things that could go wrong, but
yeah, this is the only way they can improve though, by just keep going with it, making some big changes.
Yeah, they haven't given up. They didn't let the first couple times being like, you know what, this is a failed attempt. We're not going to do this anymore.
I mean, oddly enough, the first 2 or 3 are my favorites. The first 2, I think, where it was like people abusing mechanics. I thought that was sweet. Even though like it went completely
the drama.
It went completely against Deadman mode, but it's like Tick eating the fog and stuff like that. I thought was sick.
Oh boy,
because that's like applied knowledge and being able to like execute the mechanic properly. You know what I mean? But anyways,
executing the mechanic properly or exploiting some certain other mechanic that's not even like supposed to be in Deadman mode.
Yeah, but properly. They're succeeding at what they want to do, and they end up beating out all the clans because of it.
They're playing the tournament on their own terms.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, fair enough. All right. What's left? Is that it? So yeah, that's it for the RuneFest and the Deadman mode coming with it. I am pretty excited. It seems like it's going to be a huge day full of eventful stuff going on. So again, that's Saturday, September the 23rd. That's coming up next Saturday. Don't miss it out if you're interested. But that being said, I think we can talk about the next section of this. So did you catch any of this mod drama going down?
I caught on to it. I didn't watch the Q&A, but I did go on the subreddit and see like a big, I don't know,
clusterfuck
witch hunt. Yeah. Clusterfuck.
Pitchforks and torches were raised.
And I was kind of like, what is going on? And then kind of going through it. And you're like, oh, of course everyone's upset. Okay.
So yeah, we got a new mod that joined the team, and he was on the Q&As on Thursday, and they asked him, to kind of tell him if you could have like one thing to change in RuneScape, what would it be? And a lot of people are not happy with what he said. So I have the clip here, and I'm going to play it. So yeah, we're going to play what he actually said. And
I guess finally, are there any like burning statements you'd like to get off your chest? Anything you want to express on your very first day, your very first 10 minutes?
Very first 10 minutes, and I'm probably going to have half of the community screaming at me in a moment. So apologies in advance. So there is one thing actually, and it's important that I address it starting as community manager, because it will start impacting in terms of the work that I have to do.
Kieran looks so nervous.
But, yeah.
This is scary.
So hear me out on this one. The main thing that I would like to see changed, if it was ever possible, is the way that people hold a certain level of value to having a level in a skill. As I say, hear me out on this one. So I think that getting a level 99 in a skill is an achievement. But personally, I would see that more as an achievement of time rather than an achievement of skill. So we get a lot of concerns and queries being raised at the moment when we're introducing new content that says, oh, you're devaluing my skill, you're devaluing the level that I have. When in actual fact, what's happening, it's the time taken to get that level that's been devalued. So what I would like people to be concerned about is, rather than the actual level and how long it takes you to get that level, it's the amount of experience that you can get per hour with whatever methods are available. And that's where the competitive nature within skilling should be focused upon, personally, I think. So, someone could get a 99 in, for example, thieving over the course of 3 years. Someone could get a 99 in thieving over the course of 12 months. They've both got a level 99. One person has got it faster. But obviously, looking at that from a competitive nature and who's better than who, okay, you did it faster than he did, there's going to be more and more people getting that over time, and over time there's going to be more methods that will introduce different ways to get XP. So the more that we can start saying, okay, let's forget about the level involved, and if there are new methods, well, let's make that new method the new competitive way. And actually, if it does offer more experience per hour, then I'm going to get more experience per hour than you by doing the same method. And really, that's kind of the whole thing.
Sorry, the chat just...
I was mesmerised. Like, so many people he has a point, more truth, fire, moving on. A very brave way to start, anyway.
Yeah. So it's out there now. So that's my opinion on the whole thing. Obviously, I still think that skilling is valued, and I love the competitive nature of everything. With skilling, PVM, and PvP. And I want to explore more ways that we can make skilling appear and appeal competitively. But that's just that. If there was one thing that I could do and completely eliminate, that would be it.
I think that's the takeaway point. Sorry to jump in.
I was just wondering if you could tell us more about, I don't know, next time we're looking at some kind of skilling update.
Yeah.
I don't know, a new fishing thing, shall we say, or a new mining thing, what would you therefore propose we do differently?
So I think with recent developments and updates from a player's perspective, the change has been a great step forward. So noticing that if we are going to introduce new content that has similar XP rates to existing content, we need to make sure there's a differentiating factor for that. So, for example, being more click intensive, having a higher risk, like with the Volcanic Mine, like with the Scully Step mushrooms as well, constantly having to be around on the move. So I think those are really great steps forward, and I think it's just noticing that if we are going to offer other methods, they have to be quite clearly different from existing methods.
Yeah. I think we can agree on that, certainly.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you could tell that there was a little bit of a shitstorm that happened after that Q&A.
Yeah, the backlash
was pretty fun to watch. I'm gonna admit, I enjoyed reading everything about it.
Yeah, so eventually he did come on to the, there's a bunch of memes on the front page of Reddit talking about like, oh, you're digging your own grave, there's career suicide. He did come on and make a little post trying to explain himself better, and he says, okay, maybe it didn't come across exactly properly, but he was just saying, at least this is, I hope I interpreted it properly, but I think he's saying instead of just adding another tier for woodcutting, I'm going to use that as an example. Instead of adding something similar to redwoods, where it's just, you just click on it and you're just going to be getting more experience, or it's going to be, whatever, slower, whatever it is, just a different thing to click on and cut. He likes to see things that are like the Sulisep mushrooms, where you're going to have to be navigating through the swamp, getting attacked by different things, and, and he's hoping that the more skilled you are at that little activity, you'll be able to reward the experience, properly, instead of just having it always, let's just pretend having the experience always underneath, 2 teak or whatever it is, teak cutting or willows or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what are your opinions on that? What do you think? Your palms getting a little sweaty? You scared?
Okay, I'm kind of conflicted. It's kind of hard to phrase this, but it is annoying that a 99 is just seen as time spent. Like,
yeah, for, I guess, many things I can see. Yep, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so, well, with 99% of things, like, you have 99 rune crafting, like, is it hard? Like, no, you just spent a lot of time doing it, and
yeah, okay.
And so it does make sense that he wants to change it to like time spent to like, shit, you got 99 rune crafting? That's like hard. You know what I mean?
It's either hard or long.
Yeah. And it makes sense, but like I don't really think that's like that's the kind of game RuneScape should be, where like you can't really, the only way, like, oh, this guy's good at RuneScape, it's okay, he understands boss mechanics, like, Bodhi's better than me at RuneScape, he can, mechanical-wise, like, he can, like, one-tick prey flick consistently for hours, and he knows so much about the game, he can do all these bosses way better than I can, he can PK way better than me, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, if I, like, want to get 99 woodcutting, I should just get it. Like, it shouldn't be like you don't need it, right? So like the example was the Sulisep thing. Like, you don't need 99 woodcutting. You get it because you want 99 or you just like woodcutting. Like it's kind of annoying that like everyone feels like they deserve 99s and like a bunch of skills that they don't like to do and that don't do anything. Does that make sense? So like if I have 99 Hunter, and I got it because I wanted to make money, and maybe I enjoyed doing Chinchompas, right? Maybe I did red Chinchompas till blacks, and I just did it because I wanted money. It's not like the best experience, like doing reds to blacks, but I did it because I wanted the money and all that stuff, and it took me longer. It was a goal I wanted that I enjoyed doing. Okay, congrats. And then if somebody like wants 99 Hunter, but doesn't like the skill at all, like, why do they feel like they need to have it? Like, why do you need this 99? Like, why don't you just, like, does this make sense? Am I, like, conveying my point properly?
I think I get what you're saying, but the only problem is not having certain skills kind of bars you from things. Like, let's say, for instance, you want to get your achievement diaries done, and then suddenly you can't get one done because rune crafting's in the way. And you're like, well, fuck, I need to get 70 rune crafting, and the only way of doing that is literally spending, 150 hours. I'm just making this up. I don't know. It's probably less than that, but spending like 100 hours.
Let's be real.
Okay, well, whatever it is. But like the only way of getting that is spending 100 hours and then doing it, the same way everyone else is basically doing it. So that's where it gets like, I guess that's where the controversy comes in, is that, yeah, it's easy to say like, okay, just don't get your wood cutting up if you, don't want to AFK doing it for the most part. You don't want to spend all the time getting your wood cutting up, but at the same time, that's going to prevent you from certain things. It might prevent you from achievement diaries, or it might prevent you from a clue scroll.
Yeah. So, like, you need 82 rune crafting for Fromenic Elites.
Okay.
And the big thing from Fromenic Elite is noted Dagonoth bones. That's huge. Yeah. So, and I had said previously, so this is actually really, like, what your thing is, like, really applicable to me, is that, because I wanted to just do a bunch of Dagonoths and just, whatever. And I enjoy doing the boss at that time. So I was like, okay, if I get 82 rune crafting, I'm set. So then I just did Nats or something. And I'm at like 72 maybe? I forget what my rune crafting is. And like, I spent a lot of time doing it, but like, I also was like, I don't really need it. I don't need my Fromenic Elites. I end up just stop rune crafting. I'll do it eventually. And I guess if there is like a way to get better experience in it, I could do lava runes. But if there was like another better way than that was harder to do, like,
what if it was more dangerous to do? Like, there was a good chance that you could die rune crafting, but if you were good at it and able to, whatever it is, not get killed, you would be getting the best experience in the game. What do you think about stuff like that? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I just want to see where you stand with what he actually said. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you agree with what he's saying, or do you kind of think that that's, like, you did say that that's not the type of game RuneScape is, so you saying disagreeing with him?
Not really. Like, I'm pretty like neutral about it, because rune crafting's a pretty bad skill to use as an extreme example.
Yeah, that's the
if we
slowest
said
skill in the
like
game.
I don't know, thieving. I guess thieving would be a good example where like there are a lot of options, right? So as of right now, you can do Knights of Ardown. You can pickpocket Knights of Ardown.
It's pretty AFK.
It's the most AFK thieving method, and it's good experience. Like, I don't even have RD hards done, right? And I'm getting like 90k an hour doing that at my thieving level with the necklace and all that stuff. I don't even have RD's hard, so I could be getting like close, maybe even more than 100k an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And or I could do Pyramid Plunder, which I don't know what the rates are, but I'm 99% sure it's much better, or it's a bit better than Artie's. And it's more click intensive, and you get poisoned, and
I know at one point, I remember at one point the Pyramid Plunder used to overtake, the other ways of doing. Okay, no, actually, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So Pyramid Plunder, you'd get, like, we're just being general. Maybe there's certain thresholds of levels and gear and whatever, but like, just say generally, Pyramid Plunder gives you a bit more experience. You have a chance to make more money with the scepter.
Yeah, generally you probably won't, though, until you get the scepter, right?
Yeah, you make no money until you get the scepter, and then boom. And Artie's actually not that bad if you have the rogue's outfit. But anyways, it's a lot more click intensive. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And if you do the method properly, as like just like pretty much rushing to the last room and then clearing that and then jumping out, like, it's better experience. Like, there is a method to get more experience.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, there's blackjacking, which is the best experience. Yep. It's ridiculously better, and it's super click intensive, where you have to like You knock them out, you pickpocket them a couple times, knock them out, pickpocket them, like, yeah, distract, like, yeah, you, so like there's different sets of like experience, and like, with thieving specifically, I'm fine with it because I don't care for pyramid plunder. I don't really care about it. And I don't
like pyramid plunder. I always have fun doing it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, different strokes for different folks. That's the whole point. Like, thieving, I think, is a good example because in each of those, like, categories, everyone listening is like, oh, I can sit there and just, like, do really fast clicks, and I can do blackjack and get crit. Look at the experience I'm getting. Holy shit, this is amazing. I'm gonna be done thieving, like, so fast. And then, that doesn't seem appealing to me, but pyramid plunder doesn't seem appealing to me, but you also are like, I like pyramid plunder, and plus the idea of, like, I could get the scepter.
Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
my god, that kind of keeps me going, and the experience isn't that bad. And then there's me where I'm happy with the money I get with the rogue's outfit from thieving at the nights, and I really don't mind just and watching Netflix or being forced to watch Moana the 30th time with a friend of mine. Always making me watch fucking Moana. And I'll be like, okay, I'll watch Moana and just I'm able to tune out the clicks. I'm able to go on autopilot and just watch the movie. And then I look back, once every couple of minutes to put on another necklace and make sure I'm not dead. So like, I think thieving is a good example of like what he's trying to explain, right? As this,
Like
that's
what
the whole
they've
point.
already done, or are you saying thieving needs a fourth way of doing it?
No, I'm saying thieving is good because
Okay,
like
it's good how it is.
So the way the mod is kind of explaining it, where it's like he wants different avenues for you want more experience. Well, blackjacking.
Yeah, and I
Well,
can't fucking
blackjacking is
stand
fucking
blackjacking.
ridiculously click intensive. All right, pyramid plunder. I don't really want to play. All right, knights. Like I think
Yeah.
that's the whole point he's trying to say.
Knights with an auto clicker, you're good to go.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the whole point that he was trying to make with what he was talking about. And if he just said, instead of using woodcutting, and he said thieving, thieving, I think, is the perfect example. You know what I mean?
I think so. And that's, I could totally see where he's coming from as well, when he's saying it. And like, I was like, when he said, I'm like, yeah, I could definitely, see how, I'm going to go back to woodcutting. I don't know why, but, let's go. I'm going to use fire making as the example. So I can definitely see how, like, if you want to train your fire making and the only way to do that is burning your logs, you might just be like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
This kind of sucks. But if you want to do it, maybe make a little bit of money, but have a little bit of fun as well. Now they have Winter Todd. It's a little bit more dangerous as well, but it's a new way of doing it. But at the same time, the traditional fire making method is still going to be faster experience per hour.
So is like, you meaning that he wants to implement like a Winter Todd equivalent to like another skill?
I'm just using fire making as an example where there's now there's two ways of doing it. There's a dangerous way of doing it that you can also get rewarded for it. But if you're not forced to do that because the fire making, the traditional method is still going to be faster. It's just, you're just burning money. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Now, so I can definitely see where he's coming from. And I like parts of it I do agree with, but the only problem is, I've heard tons of people who are like disagreeing with it and stuff like that. And it's a slippery slope. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing an update where it's going to be a new method to train something, it has to be well done and it has to be good. And if it's going to be better experience per hour than the original way, it better not be super easy to do, or it better not be super AFK, or it better not reward you and be like super safe to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Pretty much, I think everyone would like an option, but they don't want a new, better method. So like Winter Todd is an option, but 99% of people are going to do Winter Todd. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think people are scared of that with like every skill. Like
so like
combat.
rune crafting suddenly, if you're able to just blast through some levels and get to 92 rune crafting, and you're like, wow, now I can make double nature runes. It's just like, man, that's bullshit, because you know how much money you can make from that? It should be kind of hard to actually get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that,
Which,
I could
yeah, rune crafting is a little bit of a tricky example because it's like a very different, unique in terms of like where the skill is placed right now in terms of everything else. But like I think fire making is a good example. I really liked the thieving example, and like with combat in general, they came out with Nightmare Zone, and that is the best training experience that's AFKable and you make money.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking stupid. That is so dumb. And I seriously would be totally fine if they just took out Nightmare Zone and took out Imbued. I'd be so happy with that, but they can't. But you know what I mean? Like, that's what everyone's scared of, because combat means nothing at this point, which sucks. Like, back in the day, having a high combat meant a lot.
Yeah.
But now having high combat, like, I know so many of my friends that don't play RuneScape, they play Nightmare Zone. And they get a high combat, and then they don't have their fire cape, they don't have their bear. And the whole point of getting those back in the day was so when you're doing Slayer or just grinding, people used to grind monsters do you remember that? People would go to a certain place that had the best experience between these level brackets of attack and strength and items, and they would go there and grind out their stats.
Fuck,
like,
I remember being at Hill Giants getting 70 attack.
Like, people,
I think back now, like, what the fuck? That was probably horrid.
But I mean, like, the only, like, pures will grind on the crabs, but now it used to be rock crabs, now it's sand crab, or then it went sand crabs, and now it's probably going to be the anomalite crabs. But, like, now it's like you NMZ and then Slayer if you want to make money, because you NMZ for those stats and then you Slayer. But like back then, like, you wanted the fire cape so you could level up faster. Now it doesn't really matter because you can just AFK NMZ. Why take 6 attempts of getting your first fire cape and tens of hours getting your barrow gloves when you can just AFK and get your stats? You know what I mean?
Would you say the melee 99s are the new cooking and fletching 99?
I would say, yeah. I think if you have 99 attack, strength, and defense, it doesn't really mean anything. That's my opinion. I mean, okay, it takes a while to get, but like, once you have like 99 strength and shit, like, you can get your 99 attack and defense, like, over, like, when I was doing my NMZ grinds in general, I was doing it in a less AFKable way, but I was getting over 100k an hour.
Shit, yeah.
Okay. And plus with the daily herb boxes, and I have infinite imbues, I can imbue so much shit now. Like, I find that, yeah, it's kind of like, it's nice, but it doesn't really mean that much anymore. And like, that's one update, quote unquote, devaluing 3 skills in one simple motion. It's like, here's NMZ. And it was even worse back in the day because you could AFK for 6 hours.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, we're not even, that's not even a thing now. But that was a thing for a really long time. Same thing with Magic. I don't know how many of these players are still playing, but 99 Magic was super common because you could AFK for 6 hours. I literally, like, I splashed 1 to 65, and then I really didn't like the idea of splashing, and I stopped. And I regret it now because I could have 99 Magic. But like, like, they have like these little changes that completely kind of fuck a skill. And I think nobody wants that to happen ever again. But like, because they haven't fixed NMZ. You know what I mean? Like, I personally would be happy if they just deleted it. I think a lot of people would hate it. People might be saying, oh, you already have like 99 attack and strength and
you already NMZ'd
defense.
your stats.
I mean, I NMZ'd for base 90s and 99 strength, and like, I would gladly take away all my NMZ experience if they took out the minigame too. I'd be totally fine with everything I'd ever gained from NMZ if they took that away with the minigame. I mean, it's not gonna happen, but
yeah. But I get why it needs to be in the game, though. I mean, it not necessarily needs to be in the game, but I get why it is in the game. Again, because like, we're not the same people as we were back in 2005 and stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't have time to necessarily. They want people to be able to get the stats they want without being like, ugh, it's gonna take me 5 years to max out, you know, my strength.
But
because
like,
I got kids that I can't play every day, and I got a job I gotta do and stuff like that.
Exactly, but like, do you need? I mean, at the end of the day, RuneScape's like a video game. Do you need 99 strength?
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Yeah, you don't. Obviously, you don't. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But
yeah, and like, for the longevity of it, the one thing that keeps players going is having grinds, and like RuneScape's a grindy game. So the more grind you take out, like look at me, I grinded for my raid stats. I haven't played in like 2 weeks because like my excuse is I'm waiting for my other friends to catch up to me. But like
In reality,
my
just playing
main
hentai
grinds
games.
are gone. The main goals I've had set for like this whole year. Like I think I said at the beginning of the year, my main goal is to be raid ready. And look, I'm raid ready. And like, the more grinding you're taking out, the less players have to hold on to and stick around. So that's kind of like, that's why everybody is super, like once you have completely maxed stats, total level done, it's like, what can you do? Inferno Cape, PK, boss for money, and make a pure. Like you know what I mean? Like you're like,
yeah, I guess. I mean, like, but what about this? You're raid ready and you're waiting for your friends. Now, what if your friends came on and they're just like, man, I'm not gonna be able to raid for like 2 years, so fuck it. I'm just gonna go try. I'm gonna play. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be a big deterrent to certain people. Somebody who doesn't have 8 hours to spend on the game. Like, I remember being in like high school and stuff, and there are days where like I could just like sit down and just play all fucking day. But like, many people have responsibilities now, and they realize like you might not even play this game if you're not going to be able to play some of the end game stuff. This Inferno Cape just came out, but like, if you can only play for like a couple hours a day, let's say, you might be like, yeah, that content's useless to like so many. It is a hard content, but like, it's like, yeah, there's no point. I'll never be able to boss and stuff like that.
It's a really tricky, sorry to cut you off, but it's a really tricky topic because RuneScape's like a sandbox game where you can kind of do anything whenever. And like, so let's say back in January when raids came out, and then like slightly after that when me and my friends were like, fuck it, dude, let's just grind it for raids. Like, I was taking big breaks on my raid grinds. If you were just to go back and what'd you do this week? And you just like made a compilation. Some weeks I'm like grinded hard for my raids. Some weeks sometimes didn't even play. And like my friends, they have like a regular, like they're done school. They have 9 to 5s and they have like responsibilities and stuff. And I don't have as many responsibilities. So it makes sense why I got raid ready before them. But like but like we sat, like when we were talking about it, we were like, all right, like we all understand this is going to take like 6 months to get to. Like we all understood that it's going to take a long time for us to get there. And we're like, yeah, like, well, we didn't sit down at a table and like discuss the time commitment. You know what I mean? Like when we were like, dude, we should raid, we all were aware of the time commitment and whatever. And we could have easily been like, yeah, fuck that. It takes way too long. Fuck, I don't have that much time. But like, since we inherently like grinding things, we're like, man, that's kind of cool. I'm down to grind for that goal. Like, why not? Like, and yeah, like, I don't know. So it's like inherent, like this game's like just a grindy game. That's the most RuneScape kind of has. You grind bosses for money and grind Slayer tasks for money. You grind out PvP for good combat, good action, maybe good drops. Maybe you get good enough at PKing that you start risk fighting. Mm-hmm. So you fight the same guy 6 times over until you die or he dies. Like, there's like a lot of like little grinds within the game. And like, so I'm not disagreeing with, like, I'm not like taking sides, but like, I think that's why it's
a very controversial subject.
That's why everybody freaked out, because like, they know, like, look at RS3. Didn't they have an event where they gave like 1 million experience to everybody that logged on that day?
Oh, there's a possibility.
They had something like that where literally everybody.
Well, they have double experience weekends like right now. Yeah. Every now and then they'll drop it where you can just like.
And bam. Look how like not dead, but look how like our old school is definitely a lot more popular than RuneScape 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's not debatable that old school is a lot more popular, and RuneScape 3 the grind is a lot easier. They say easy scape, but I mean, like, it's because the game has been out for so long that, like, people feel like I need these skills up to 99. The mods feel like we have to come out with better new methods to keep people like, okay,
And
now
the
I
thing
can
is-
play for a month to get 99 mining. But they
And they
don't
have
really...
so many bosses and so many endgame content. They kind of want to push you to get to that stuff as soon as possible if you're a new player.
Yeah.
Similar to like
that's-
World of Warcraft, where they just hand you a level 70 or whatever. They just hand you a maxed out account.
Exactly. And if you look at the graphs for World of Warcraft, you look at the sub counts and the player counts, it is like a mountain. Like it peaks and drops, like it goes up and down over and over again. And you can look at when a new expansion comes out, when new raids come out, because you literally now, if you were to buy World of Warcraft, you buy it, you're 10 levels from max, which is 14 hours of grinding. If like 15 or 16, if you've never done it before, it's like 9 if you've already leveled your character up before. You know what I mean? And then maybe it's 20 if you've never played the game before. And it's even less if you have more people. There's a lot of, but let's just say it's like 10 to 15 hours of grind to get to, you know, to end game. And then from there, you can like do a couple heroics, and then you do LFR, and then you do raids, and then heroics. And like that obviously gives you more time, but I ended up getting bored once we cleared heroic in the game. And like now the guild I'm in is like doing heroics in a night easily, and people are dropping like crazy because you do the content, you get the gear, you get it on farm, the grind's over, it's boring, everyone quits. I don't want it to be like, imagine if Volcanic Mine came out and the experience rate was completely busted. Let's say it's like 120k an hour or something. And then everybody's grinding that to 99, and then boom, there's one skill nobody is ever touching, and now I never have to worry about it, and part of the game is like over because they kind of fucked up, created like a semi-AFKable, really good experience grind, like...
So yeah, some of those are a little extreme, like some of the examples, but you can see how it's controversial, because the thing is, there's some people who have sunk a lot of time and energy into getting 99 in certain skills, and they just don't want to see people like just flying through it and like have to like skip all the pain and sweat that they had to go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely, each side is very polarizing, but like it's a slippery slope. That's what all I'm saying. Like if it's not done well, or like you just kind of like, well, let's just kind of, you know, push them to get 99s faster, then that's where it starts getting like, okay, what the fuck? Or what happens when the next mining update comes out? What are you going to do then? Like, does it have to be even better than 120 experience? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing. You don't always need new and better things. Like, I don't know. I'm just like,
I think what he just wants is like different ways of doing it. Kind of like maybe what you said with agility, but honestly, like, it's weird. The reason it's kind of weird that he said that is because it seems like we're already getting all that, you know, Winter Todd, Mining Todd, or Volcanic Mines.
Yeah, it's been happening for a while.
Suliceps, yeah. Now you got the underwater area in Fossil Island, so that you can train multiple skills at once instead of just one. So yeah, definitely. I don't know.
To sum it up, I like thieving as an example, where like if they had implemented the same idea to skills, where make it super click intensive, you know, better experience, AFKable, less experience, whatever, and then another way to make more money. Like if they just have like a variety of things, I'm down, but it would also be super shitty to like grind like Autumn Elegy. He's like a streamer and a YouTuber. He got 200 mil mining experience by 3-tick granite, which is like the most efficient way to do it. But he spent like months just doing that. And then, like, shortly after, they like, announced Fossil Island and Mining Todd, and he flipped out.
Yeah, okay.
Which would make sense, because, like, potentially,
if he just
hundreds of hours have been thrown down the drain. And I think other players are scared of that happening to them.
Yeah, which is fair enough, because, you know, that's, if done wrong, or, you know what I mean, or overtuned too much, it could just, it could devalue your skills, I guess. But anyways, yes, that was pretty interesting. Yeah, let us. I want to hear what you guys think. What are your guys' opinions on it? I just want to hear everyone's thoughts on it. So write in and let us know.
Yeah, I'm really curious on like what because everyone's in a different place too, right? Some people can only play 4 hours a week, and maybe they wouldn't play if they had to grind 200 hours of rune crafting.
Yeah, or maybe they like using your NMZ example, maybe it's just like, well, I might not be playing RuneScape if I'd still be like level 50 because I have to do all this computer work or my homework and stuff, but I'm able to AFK with NMZ while I'm doing the work. So yeah, it kills two birds kind of deal. But let's not sit on that for too much longer. And yeah, that was basically all the goings on in the RuneScape world. Yeah, before we start like closing the show up, we need to talk about the Volcanic Mines.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over that because now we can finally give a little overview. There's some guides have been written. People have been doing videos. I actually saw some streamers and stuff doing it. So it was kind of interesting. I'll just quickly go over, what it entails basically. So Volcanic Mine is located on Fossil Island. And in order to get there, you need 50 mining, 180 kudos, as well as 30 numelites every time you wish to enter the mine. Okay?
So there's like a price every time you enter?
Yeah, it's 30 numelites.
Okay. That's not bad. That's like nothing. It's chump change.
Yeah, but it's at the same time, like, you'll have to grind out shit if you don't already have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the description right here is the primary goal is to move a large boulder in the lava channel northwards towards the lava whirlpool. This can be done by mining the boulder so that it's small enough to fit as the channels tighten as it moves down the stream. Up to 3 boulders can spawn at the start of the minigame, and this depends on how many players are actually participating in it. So if there's less than 10 players, there's only going to be 1 boulder available. If there are more than 10 players, another boulder is added, and if there are more than 20, there's a third one added, okay? You'll have to encounter some lava beasts, which will begin to appear, and they're going to attack you as you kind of navigate through. So they recommend protecting from missiles. It'll protect you from all their attacks, all right?
Okay.
So in order to move kind of through the rivers of lava, I suppose, you're going to have to use an item called a heat-proof vessel to harden stepping stones to move across the rivers of lava to other platforms.
Oh.
Each canteen, it's interesting. Each canteen has 35 uses per game, so you are able to run out. Basically, the water will shoot out in the direction you're facing, so you have to be facing north, west, south, east. The lava stepping stones that you make with the vessel will melt after a certain time. So there's a limited time to when you're standing on them, so you have to kind of move along, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do stay on it when it does melt, you're going to fall and you're going to be taking massive damage when that happens. So when you do reach the boulder and you start mining it, you're going to receive various ore fragments as it kind of decreases in size. And you also might get some calcite, pyrophosphite, numelite, and as well as some fossils, some unidentified fossils. So if you don't remember what the calcite and pyrophosphate is, it can be used for using the fossils to gain prayer experience on another part of the island, if you remember.
Yeah.
So with each chamber, and I believe the chamber is described as where the meteorite is going to be at. So if there's 3 meteorites, I think there's 3 chambers opened. I hope I'm getting that right. But within each chamber, there's going to be 3 different vents, which, labeled as A, B, and C. And the vents used as a way to, that kind of works the pressure to move the meteorite along, if I am getting this right. So yeah, the vents are used to kind of, control the pressure that's moving along. You can put large rocks on it, or you can mine it to take the rocks off, and that will kind of increase or decrease the pressure, and you want to keep it around 40 to 60% to move your meteorite along the chamber. If it reaches 0%, the volcano will erupt and it's going to kill everybody inside instantly, and no experience will be rewarded.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here.
Jesus.
And so yeah, at the end of the 10-minute timer, if you haven't completed it yet, the volcano will erupt and anyone inside the volcano will also die instantly. And if you do die, petrified peat will take all your items and you can get them back at a cost of 150 numelites. Yeah, that's the activity in a nutshell, basically.
Yeah, it seems a lot more dangerous than I actually expected.
Yeah, it seems a lot more cutthroat. Luckily, yeah, it is similar to Zulrah, where a guy will retrieve your items for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if not done properly, it is very easy to get killed, basically.
Yep. It's unsafe deaths. You'll lose your hardcore Iron Man status.
Yeah. Yeah, and I apologize if that explanation's kind of is a rough one as well, because I'm just kind of going off the wiki, and I've watched a few videos, so I'm trying to go off that as well, but I have not actually been able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the ore fragments that you can get, they're basically all the normal ones, but with level 50 mining, you can get iron, silver, coal, and gold. With 55, you'll get mithril. 70, you'll get addy, and then 85, you'll get runes. So it's all very similar. And then afterwards, you'll get rewarded with some points, which you can use, which we were talking about before. Shit, what do we call them? You'll get rewarded with ore fragments, which you can spend in the shop from Petrified Pete's ore shop, and you can buy basically all the same ores as well as calcite, pyrophosphite, and then there's a volcanic mine teleport as well. So, yeah, those are the things you can buy from it. So it seems pretty interesting. It seems like if I were to honestly, it seems like a way if I want to train mining, that might be where I'm wanting to go.
Yeah.
And that in itself almost seems like what mod Aiza? I don't know. The new Jagex mod was kind of talking about, where it's like a much more dangerous, although, like I said, like you mentioned, they're kind of tweaking the experience rate still because they want it to be kind of on par with normal mining, I think, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So that's a pretty cool one.
I like how seems a lot more dangerous than I expected.
Yeah.
I should definitely gear up and try and do it.
Might be a good way might be a more fun way to train your mining as well, instead of just, mining out some iron and dropping it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. That being said, I think before we go on too much longer, should we talk about our little giveaway?
Yeah.
I think we should. Okay, cool. So if you're out of the loop a little bit, we are currently doing a little bit of a giveaway, and there's two ways of doing that. So we're going to be running it through this week and then probably last week. So then, episode 52, we're going to be announcing the winners. We'll be giving a number of bonds away to some of the people who participate. So if you haven't already, definitely jump in there. So one of the ways is you can do that through a survey that we have, and we have them listed on Facebook and Twitter, and I believe the Discord as well. So you just click that and answer it out. We're just asking questions on things you like about the show, things you don't like about the show, things you want to see changed or added, and we just want a way that we can improve the show and give you a much better show, like a show that you're actually wanting to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So get in there, answer those questions, tell us your opinions on everything so that we can improve as the year goes on and whatnot. And then at the end, there's a little section where you can leave your username so that we can know who you are to give you that bond. And the second way of doing that is through Twitter. So, and our Twitter account is @TheWildernessRS, and just tweet us if there was any memorable moments or anything that stood out, anything that you kind of enjoyed about the show so far. Just tweet at us and then give us a little, old school RuneScape hashtag as well. And that's its own separate giveaway. So yeah, you can win some bonds there as well. And yeah, so that's that. And now I'm going to have to do the run through of all the ways you can get in contact. And just in case you just forgot, or maybe you weren't listening, our Twitter is @TheWildernessRS. Our Facebook is facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. Our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. And our in-game clan chat is WildCC. We also have a Discord open, and we will get you a link out. It's also been posted around as well. I think it's on our Facebook and stuff like that. So if you want to just click it and join in through there, you can. If not, harass one of us in game. We'll get you a link so that you can join us and hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think I'm missing anything.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that it's time to close it. Anything going on next week?
Nothing really. Not that I know of.
All right.
I'm just gonna see how it goes. Just schoolwork.
Cool, dope. That sounds pretty fun. Myself, I don't know. We'll play it by ear and we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get this fucking real estate bullshit all cleared up because it's fucking stressful.
Yeah.
Hey, what can you do? All right. I think that's it. I think we gotta get out of here now.
Yeah, I am starving and I gotta go to the bathroom, so.
Thanks a lot for listening, guys. And yeah, tune in next week as always. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Appreciate
Peace.
you and take care.
Yeah, peace.
Later, Gators.